It's almost Christmas, and that means at malls across the country, the shopping frenzy is in full swing. But are you feeling like the true meaning of Christmas has been lost? When you bring up the fact that Christmas is really supposed to be about Jesus Christ, do people give you a weird look? Well, this year, a brand new Christmas initiative is trying to change that. The Share the Good News of Christmas campaign is the brainchild of American-based publisher Crossway Books and Bibles. Retailing at about $1.20 per bag, each package contains a New Testament Bible in Standard English, a Christmas message written by speaker Max Lucado, 30-day free access to an online study Bible, and invitations that churches can customize and use to invite neighbors to Christmas events. The goal is to reach 1 million homes this holiday season. What begins at the distribution center ends up at dozens of churches and organizations across Canada. 1,000 of these packages were delivered to the Markham Missionary Church in Markham, Ontario, where volunteers are literally bringing the gospel message to their neighbors' doorsteps. David Crouse is senior pastor.
As you dialogue with your neighbors, you find out that really not very many of them know the actual good news of Christmas. They're pretty caught up in the commercialization of it. And in this community in particular, being so multicultural and multi-faith, there are people that only have what they've overheard from someplace else about the true meaning of Christmas. Christmas, many people talk about, well, a spirit of friendship and openness to others and joy. But to get to the source of it, most of our neighbors need that as new information in their lives.
The community, says Crouse, has gone through some dramatic changes since the church first began.
We've learned that this is a very multicultural community. In fact, English is a third language in the community. Mandarin and Cantonese are the first two languages, but it's not all Chinese by any means, and there are many different nations represented in the community here.
The Markham Missionary Church is at a threshold, he says, and is learning new ways to break down barriers and welcome their neighbors into the family of Christ.
The Missionary Church has roots in the Mennonite movement as well as the Wesleyan movement. The church has been here, the congregation, for over 130 years in this area. There's lots of tradition and lots of changes that need to happen over that time. So we're in a setting right now where immediately across the road from us is city built up with houses, and around the property is cornfields. So that's really quite symbolic of Markham Missionary Church and the threshold we're at.
So rather than going the traditional route of simply handing out flyers, they wanted to try something different, and so they jumped on the good news bandwagon, he says.
We sit here in a building, but we can be very separate from the community. And it gives all of our people an opportunity to go through for a stroll through the neighborhood and pass out something that they feel good about and that can actually bring someone to know about Jesus Christ. And so we're never satisfied with the level of outreach that we're doing. We want to be more engaging with our neighbors. And sometimes that's difficult because of the multicultural setting, and sometimes our background presents difficulties for us in bridging that gap. This is a bridge for us.
Putting together and distributing 1,000 packages, he says, wasn't easy and required some planning.
We put together a map from our town website and marked out routes that would include about 20 to 30 houses, because when you carry 30 of those New Testaments, they start to get heavy. And then we had the volunteers put the packets together and then count them out into bundles of what they would need for the individual routes. And that varied, so that had to be precisely the number of houses and the number of bundles for the number of houses. Then on a couple Sunday mornings, we invited people to go and select the route from the big map and then go and pick up the packet that was prepared for that route.
And while Christmas is supposed to be a happy time, studies suggest that rates of depression rise during the holiday season. Crouse says he is aware that not everyone in the community around them will be spending the holidays with their families.
Some of the people that are in our neighborhood are separated from family members. They're people that have come seeking new opportunity in Canada, and they actually have spouses and children left behind in their home country. And so it can be a particularly lonely time when everyone else is clustering in their own families. And so we try to be open and listening for people who might be alone or having a difficult time during that season, and put them in touch with a family within the church.
This year, the church used the customizable invitations for their annual Christmas cantata, which Crouse says is a more relaxed and comfortable first step for people who don't attend church.
There is an easy entrance for them in our Christmas musical drama, for instance, that it's a public event that many people will be coming to, and they can be part of the crowd that comes in. They can find out that it's a warm environment, a welcoming environment. It's really quite an elaborate presentation for a small church, and the place is completely decorated for the event. There are people in costume greeting at the door, Roman soldier costumes, people right at the door in top hat and cloaks to help people out of their vehicles and into the building. We even have some animals that take part in the presentation, and the children of all ages enjoy that we actually do that within the Christmas drama.
Crouse hopes that through the campaign, people will not only get a chance to attend the play and learn about the church, but will have some of their preconceptions about Christians and Christmas cleared up.
Here's the story. Put aside all your preconceptions and get to the source itself. And here is the true story. Here's the true content that will speak, pressing through all the other stuff, all the other collection of accumulated garbage in people's lives, and that they can then know what God's message is, not filtered through a church. And in this particular New Testament, the editors have put some topics in the early part of the New Testament, so people can say, oh, here's some passages that speak about peace in your heart, or here's a passage that speaks about marriage and that kind of thing, so that even beyond reading the scriptures, which is new content to them, they can go to passages that speak directly to some of the issues that they face in their lives.
And while the church hopes that the community will be touched by their gesture, Crouse says there's been an unexpected blessing.
We're delighted that we could be part of this distribution of God's good news. Sometimes people who don't have the talents of music or speaking look for opportunities where they can be part of getting God's gospel into people's lives. And this provided the opportunity. And there are people that if we can give them the opportunity for outreach in bite-sized pieces that they can handle, they're eager to take part in that.
To find out more about the Good News of Christmas campaign, visit 100huntley.com. And as Christmas approaches, even if you don't have a package to hand out, try something creative like leaving Christmas cards on your neighbors' doorsteps. Whatever you do, step outside of your comfort zone this holiday and try and share with someone the true meaning of Christmas. In Markham, Ontario, I'm Bridget for 100 Huntley Street.